Right now, it's too much to talk about.
Jay, you want to get Taco Bell one day?
Not really.
Let's get Taco Bell. I'll have them DoorDash. And then we'll eat Taco Bell like kings.
You don't want to eat like me. I'm vegetarian.
That sounds miserable. We'll find the name.
Is this correct?
We'll get you a
You grab on Desmos to do it. Look at it.
Okay.
Look at on Desmos. You know how to do it on Desmos? Do the brace. Yeah, get a computer out and type in.
Don't write it equal 0.
Oh, you can write. No, when you're solving something, you do not write down equal to 0. When you're graphing piecewise function, you have to graph as with a restriction using a brace. You want me to teach you how to do that? Okay. All right. All right. So, which question you want me to go over? One still? All right, fine. I'll go over one. It's not a problem. I'll go over anything, long as you are trying. The thing is, I go over it. You gotta try it. A lot of people will tend to avoid the graphing, and you will tell. I will tell you this. Every single test from now on, it's all gonna have graphing, and that's gonna worth 20 or 30% of your grade just based on graphing. So you gotta be able to graph, regardless what happens. So you might start somewhere. A lot of people just refuse to try it. If you refuse to try it, 3 of you guys refuse to try it. Josiah, Brendan, and Darshini. And you guys refuse to try it, and refuse to try it is just not gonna get you anywhere. Just try it. If fail, fine, and you pick yourself up again. You fail again, you pick yourself up. You like learning baby learning to how to walk. You cannot just sit there and say, "I'm not gonna walk." And I feel bad for that baby. He's just gonna sit there and say, "I'm not gonna walk." It's just not gonna cut it. So I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna do really fast pace how to graph this. So first of all, is in a standard form, and Alexis, I cannot talk over you, so let me finish talking. Usually I'll give you time to teach. So this one is this way, and this is 2 to 5, so 2 to 5 is roughly right here. I just graphed the restriction there to kind of see what's going on. And the blue is going to be this way. So I have 3 different restrictions. I follow this restriction carefully. So first of all, Josiah, do you have any questions? X greater than 5, it's going from here, between here to here, between here to here, and between here to here. So they have 4 different things. So I'm going to go and start with the first one. The first one is not in the y equal to mx plus b form. It's standard form, so it's impossible for me to graph. I mean, you can graph it in this way, but you have to find x-intercept and y-intercept, which is you can technically do that if you want to. But 2x minus 5y is equal to 10. I can solve for y, so that's equal to negative 2x plus 10. And you divide it by negative 5. And that's going to be y equal to 2 over 5x minus 2. So we're going to go to negative 2. And we're going to go up to right 5. So up to right 5 is right here and right here. But again, I'm not going to start graphing until this is going to be open circle. This is going to be red line. And this is going to be right here. Now the line is extended. So that's going to go like this. Any question about this part? This is something that you guys should know how to graph. Second thing, I'm going to start the second one. So each one has their own way of graphing. So that's why I throw different type. I use standard form, point slope form, a horizontal line, and slope intercept form. Yes.
You're gonna count them on the test if we mess that up. Just
that's not a big deal for me, but you should know that's open circle because this is a greater than, not greater equal to. Greater equal to, you can fill in a circle. Any question this part? Yes.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Like also, if that's not open circle, and then your next one, the closed circle, then it wouldn't pass the vertical line test. Right?
True. Yeah, so I won't write a question that where you fail vertical line test. So if you have closed circle at n and closed circle at n, that question will be kind of like faulty because you'll fail vertical line test. Good. That's good observation. 2/5. So I here it's gonna give you a point of 5 comma 4. Why? Because this -5, this -4 is opposite sign inside the parenthesis. We're gonna talk about why that is. So 5, 4 is gonna be right here, but this one's gonna fill in the circle this time because this is equal to, and it's gonna go -2/3, which is down 2, right 3. But I cannot do that, right? So I need to switch this negative sign here. So it's gonna be up 2 and left 3. So up 2, left 3 is gonna go this way, and it's gonna fill in both circles. It's gonna be like this way. Any question about that part? No? Okay. And then y go to -2. -2 is easy. -2 is gonna be here. Open circle on both sides. -2. And the blue one is gonna be -2 here, but it's gonna be -3. -3 m equal to -3. You had to put it as 1. So -3/1 or 3/-1. So it's gonna be -2. And go up 3, left 1. So it's gonna give you a closed circle. And this one here, and this is gonna go here. And this is your graph. Because next time, every single test from now on, it's all gonna have a graphing, and it's gonna be all piecewise. Because I will ask you any kind of graph. I will ask you how to graph absolute value, parabola, rational, radical, exponents. It's 8 different graphs. I need at least 8 to 12 different graphs I need you to be master at. So every single test from now on is gonna be a piecewise. Huh? There's only one. It's a 3 different form. Because a parabola, you got a vertex form, you got a standard form, you got a factor form. But yeah. Yes.
Question: if you were to put an absolute value and the absolute value is like undefined or something, do you just put the answer undefined?
I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean absolute value? I can ask you to grab absolute value, but absolute value should be defined on all points. The only time it's not defined, it'll be like radical. Like a square root of negative number. Then square root of negative number is not able to graph on the actual graph. Okay, but absolute value can. But we haven't get there yet. We'll get there. We'll get there where we have piecewise with absolute value and parabola and everything. You guys gonna learn how to graph all the things. Any questions? All right. So, any other question you want me to go over, Elizabeth?
Can we do 4B?
What does 4B says?
It's that.
Is it even or odd function or what?
Do you want me to call it out?
Yeah, can you read it?
It's 8x to the 4th, y to the 1/3.
Y to the 1/3.
Yeah.
Oh, 8x to the 4.
Yeah, y to the 1/3 over 32x to the -2, y to the 4/3, and then yeah, and then -5/3.
And if you
the review.
it's a 5/3 or 5/2. 5/2.
But it doesn't work really bad.
Oh, it should be 5/2. Yeah. But yeah, it should be 5/2. 5/2.
Oh, wait, 32x is the path.
Because it will be 4. 4 can square root, but it cannot give a cube root. Yeah, that was my fault. But you can finish this part and then try again. I'll give you an answer in a second. Any other question for the besides this one? Even R function. Why do you tell the even R function? David, who's right? Is Devin's right or you're right? The even R function. Good. Okay, good job.
David. Leo.
Okay, and that's okay. There's sometimes we are wrong, sometimes we're right. It doesn't matter. Just you learn from it. That's all that matters.
Wait, so what did you do wrong?
It should be 3. It should be 2 here
Oh, I see.
because 3 is not able to simplify. And which question was that, David? Oh, Leo, sorry.
3D
3D. Can you tell me the equation?
x cubed minus x over
X cubed over what?
x cubed minus x over x.
Wait, x cubed over x over x?
X cubed minus x over x.
Oh, like this? Oh, okay. Did you get even? Did you get even? Okay. If I plug in negative x here, so it's gonna be negative x to the third minus negative x over negative x. So that's equal to negative x to the third plus x over a negative x. Now, if I factor out the negative sign on the top, it's going to be x cubed minus 1 over factor out this. This will cancel out. This will end up to be back to original function. So this one is going to be even.
How do you know if it's
Because we go back to original function. If you go to minus original function, then that's going to be odd. And this has symmetry, so we're going to look at the symmetry. X cubed minus x. Remember, we say even function is going to have a symmetry of like your face.
I'm sorry,
3.
did you just say unlike my face?
I don't know what I say, but anyway. Divided by x, right? Do you see? This is actually a parabola. Well, do you know why it's a parabola? This parabola have some uniqueness to it, though. Because if you simplify properly for this function, can I factor out x? And can this cancel out? Which is the parabola going down one. But this parabola has something unique about this one because this one is different than the original graph. Now in Algebra 2, you probably learned this, but later on we're going to go to learn it. If you pay attention, if I scroll this point all the way to, do you see that? There is a hole in this parabola. Because x cannot equal to 0. If x equal to 0, it's undefined. So even though like this question, it looks complex, but it's not because later on we're going to learn something called removal discontinuity in the one of the rational function. We're going to learn how to graph rational function. But in that particular place, there is a hole over there, which is nobody able to see, even if you see that's a problem. Okay, but that's okay. Right now, we don't have to worry about this. We just have to worry about this is even a function. Just like your face is even symmetry to y-axis. If it's even, it's symmetry to y-axis. Is this okay? Yes. What'd you say? I factor out x. I factor out x and I cancel out this x. And that's going to be 1. So it's x squared minus 1 over 1. Well, this one is almost like this one, but except there is small difference, except at 0. But we're going to talk about that later, though. That's not something that we need to deal with right now. All right, so we are going to go talk about even odd a little bit more, and then we're going to talk about inverse a little bit more, and we're going to talk about operation. So, All right,
I think Taco Bell has vegan options.
they do. I just don't like Taco Bell.
No, no. What about McDonald's?
McDonald's is terrible.
That's worse.
No, I know.
All right,
Well, what fast food do you like?
Ash, come back to pre-calculus. Thank you. All right. So what if I give you a table? Can you tell me are they even or odd functions? If I give you a table, can you tell me an even odd function? So for example, I'll give you a table like this. You gotta be able to tell from the table. Is this an even or odd function? If I have a table look like this.
Even.
I hear even not and
Isn't it relating to a zero?
Oh, even. Even.
Mr. It's relating to a zero. Yeah, that's one of my.
okay, so shh. Raise your hand if you think you know the answer. Yes, Devin.
Even.
Why?
Because Roundland passed the vertical line test.
That's not why, but it is even, but it's not because it pass vertical. Both even and odd function will pass vertical line test. Arthur?
Because if you look at 0, 7, positive.
That's not why is even also 3. It looked like kind of like this. Okay. Yes, Alexis?
But because the 0 is like the middle point, kind of like like I drew it, so that's how I said it.
Okay, you drew it. That's why you know. Okay, Shreya?
It's symmetrical to the y-axis.
Symmetric to y-axis will probably the answer I'm looking for, but that's good. So and also you gotta think about it. Remember that f of negative x is equal to f of x if it's even. So if I plug in the negative number, the output versus this one, the output are the same. Do you see that they are same output? So this is a even function. Because if you plug in on the left side and right side, they are matching. Now, what's odd function look like? So the odd function is going to look like this. X and Y, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. I'll just pick a simple data. This will be 7. This is 3. This 0. And if I say this is an odd function, what do you think those two spaces it will be? -3 and -7, because opposite. Does that make sense? Because it's gonna switch, becomes positive and negative. And you can see that it's an odd function if I ask you what's those two spaces is. How many people are lost? Lost? Do you understand? Arthur? Yes. You understand?
Like a little bit.
Okay, Shreya?
If it's 0, 0 on it, just make it off.
Not necessary. I could have neither, right? I could have x and y, and I could have -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. If it's 0, this is 3, and this is 5, and this is 3, this is 5. That's still even. It doesn't mean 0, 0 is gonna be the one that defines the situation. It's still even because you from negative is positive. The negative output is gonna be give you same output, same sign, same number, same output. If it's a different number, then it's gonna be neither function. So you gotta understand the data points. Yes.
Wait, I'm confused. So like that one's odd, but like how can because the
If I told you it's odd, if I can tell you it's odd, then you can tell me, oh yeah, if it's odd, then on the positive input, it's gonna be opposite to the negative out, like the output for the negative
can you
number.
write that down like the same way you did earlier with like the x thing?
Yeah, so look at this. This is f of negative x, right? Equal to negative f of x. So if I were to plug in negative number, it's gonna give you negative. But if I plug in positive, it's still gonna be the opposite. So it's gonna give you opposite of the value from the other side. So I will give you the R function look like. The R function look like this. And we can look at the data point here. Look at the data point. -2 is -8. -1 is positive, -1. Does that make sense? And if you put 1, it's going to be opposite than the -1 output. If you put 2, the output is going to be the opposite of the -2's output. And if you want to try any number, let's try it as -19. And let's try positive 19. You see that it's just opposite numbers. Arthur? Come back to life.
Never left.
Yeah, I know.
You missed me.
No, I'm just very observant who falls asleep.
I wasn't asleep yet.
Okay, any question about even and odd? Now let's pay attention to something else. Let's name a function. Let's do x over x 2x minus 1. Let's do this. Can you find the inverse function? So can you find the inverse function for me? And I'll just write it. Everybody should come in agreement with same inverse function. So can you find the inverse for me? Somebody is very confident about the answer. Can show me the answer? Yes.
I got x over 2x minus 1.
Same thing. Same thing as the original function. Same thing. Okay, it's possible to get same thing. Alexis, you get same thing? Okay. So maybe that's not a good example. So let me give you another example. I mean, sometimes they can, this is called self-inverse. The inverse function is actually self. You can have that, so for example, 1 over x is self-inverse. So let's pick another function. Let's pick f of x equal to 3x over 5x minus 1. Can you do it really quick?
No.
Hurry up.
Wait, why is there a negative there?
That's called inverse function.
What the frick, man? Wait, we're not doing that.
Arthur, I feel like sometimes you're a third grader.
My mother says I need to grow up sometimes. She's right. All right, David, I'm an elder. Treat me with respect, boy.
I got y
Now if you
equals-
act like a kid.
I don't care how old I am. I don't care how.
Shit, I got y equals x over 5x minus 3.
What is it?
That's right.
X over 5x minus 3.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to observe this function and this function on the decimals. So we can type in the decimals. Okay, so you guys can tell me the function, right? So the function is gonna be, what's f of x? What is it?
3x over 5x minus
3x over 5x minus 1, okay. It looks like this, right? Okay. what would be, we can call the other function g of x, which is the inverse function. So it's equal to what?
5x minus 3.
It's gonna look like this, right? Let's observe the relationship those two graph. Okay. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on the wheel. The wheel is gonna give you data points, and they're gonna build some type of things here. Okay. Then you say, okay. Now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Except I'm gonna pick a number 3 here. Nope, I don't like 3. Let's say 4. Nope, let's say 5. Okay, 5 is good. And let's get rid of this number here. Okay. Now I want you to do this. Do you see I have some few data points here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at a relationship between those two tables. Relationship between those two tables is gonna be interesting. Remember, what's the first thing that we do when we find the inverse? Second thing we do on the inverse. Switch x and y, good. So then we're gonna switch at x and y here. We're gonna say 0.5. Sorry. What do you see? And we're gonna switch all the value. 0. 0.75. 2/3 because that's the same thing as 0.67. And 0.625. Do you see that they are swapping? They were swapping x and y values. They completely swap. It doesn't matter which point that you want. So not like before. Before that, there's only two things that, you know, if you look at the symmetry from left and right. This time it has symmetry, but it's a different type of symmetry. Now I'm going to show you what a symmetry line is, and I'm going to put on the test where the symmetry line is, and you're going to say y equal to x. Do you see that they act like a mirror? Okay, so this mirror is very important. Y equal to x is where the symmetry of the inverse. Everybody understand? Okay, so I want to write it down. The relationship of f of x and to go to f inverse of x. The relationship between two. And let's talk about what will be the relationship. Well, first of all, we need to talk about what's the requirement to have inverse. So the requirement to have inverse is it pass not vertical line test, but a horizontal line test. So it must pass horizontal line test. So a function like a parabola should not have inverse. It only can have inverse if it's some type of restriction. Now that's confusing, but that's okay. You should pass horizontal line test. Okay? Second, once you pass the horizontal line test, there's another term called monotonic. Increasing or decreasing. And you're gonna say, what is monotonic? Monotonic means the function has to be strictly going up or strictly going down. You cannot go up and down. So anything that go up and down, it will fail vertical line test. So monotonic just means one directions. So it's going up or going down. That's it. It does go up or down. So that's a requirement for you to have an inverse function. So there are two things roughly the same idea. Okay. The result is this. Result is, hey, the graph have symmetry of y equal to x. It has to have a symmetry y equal to x. Second result that you're gonna have, the second result you're gonna have is the x value and the y value completely swap. Completely swap. All the x, y values completely swap. And like even the not function, it just have symmetry. This type has completely swap. What'd you say? Result, yeah. And that's the inverse function. So you had to pass the horizontal line test. It has strictly going up, straight going down, and then you can have a symmetry of y equal to x, and x value, y values completely switch. Any questions so far? I don't have time. I ran out of time, so I cannot cover more. The x and y, they just completely swap. I'll probably throw some review questions, but yeah.
End the stream. You're welcome.